This morning, we shared an important update with the Bungie team on the difficult decision to eliminate 220 roles at Bungie. It's actually closer to 400.
Pretty much.
Were it so easy.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines!
So we got the full statement here, and it's really, really bad. Now keep in mind, Sony bought Bungie as a fuck you to Microsoft because Microsoft was trying to get Activision. They did end up getting Activision. Sony only wanted Bungie because Bungie made Halo and Halo made the Xbox. This was basically their way of saying, I'm going to fuck your ex-girlfriend. This is what their equivalent was. And it's all fallen apart. We've watched Bungie just fall apart. So the new path for Bungie from Pete Passons.
This is the true face of heresy.
This morning, I'm sharing with all you some of the difficult changes we've had to make as a studio due to the rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as during and enduring economic conditions. It has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon.
That was the biggest load of crap I've ever heard.
Now, I know there's a lot of fat and bloat from Bungie that can be trimmed. No one's going to argue that. But this is the same motherfucker that pocketed millions and millions and millions of dollars for himself and fired more of his own people. And now he's done it again.
They've done it again!
And there's an even worse part that's coming up regarding him.
It's bad!
So by no means is no one defending, because there are some absolute useless people there. No one's going to argue that. But this is textbook corporate greed. And the final shape was positively received. It was positively received, man. Yep. So they're coming off a little bit of a high. So beginning today, 220 of our roles will be eliminated, representing roughly 17% of the studio's workforce. These actions will affect every level of the company, including our most executive and senior leader roles. This part is interesting, and do keep that in mind because there is a bit of an update on this one. Today is a difficult and painful day, especially for our departing colleagues, all of which have made important and valuable contributions to Bungie. Our goal is to support them with the utmost care and respect by firing them and pocketing millions of dollars for myself.
Boom. Roasted.
For everyone affected by this job reduction, we are offering a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and health coverage. I realize all of this is hard news, especially following the success we've seen with the final shape, even throwing that in there. But as we've navigated the broader economic realities over the last year, and after the exhausting all other mitigation options, this has become the necessary decision to refocus our studio and our business in a more realistic goals and viable financials. Okay, we are committed to two major changes today that we believe will support our focus and leverage Sony's strengths. This is another part that I want everyone to keep in mind, this part here, and create new opportunities for Bungie talent. First, we are deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, working to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 12% into Sony Interactive Entertainment over the next few quarters. Sony Interactive Entertainment has worked tirelessly with us to identify roles for many of our people as possible, enabling us together to save a great deal of talent that otherwise been affected by the reduction in force. Second, we are working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development. This will be a time of tremendous change for the studio. So let's unpack how we ended up in this position. It's important to understand how we got here. So for over 5 years, it's been our goal to ship games in free, enduring global franchises. To realize that ambition, we've had to set up several incubation projects, each seated with senior development leaders from existing teams. We eventually realized this model stretched our talent too thin, too quickly. It also forced our studio support structures to scale to a larger level than we realistically could support, given our two primary products in development, Destiny and Marathon. This just sounds like bad business decisions. Additionally, in 2023, our rapid expansion ran headlong into broad economic slowdown, a sharp downturn in the games industry, which studios like Bungie helped bring about, by the way. Our quality miss with Destiny 2 Lightfall, what a disaster that was, and the need to give both the final shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both projects deliver at the quality our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious Our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red. So far to me, this sounds like Lightfall was a bigger flop than anybody realized. So after this new trajectory became clear, we knew we had to change our course and speed, and we did everything we could to avoid today's outcome. Even with the exhaustive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product teams to resolve our financial challenges, these steps were simply not enough. As a result, today, we must say goodbye to incredible talent, colleagues, and friends. This will be a challenging time at Bungie, and we need to help our team navigate these changes in the weeks and months ahead. This will be a hard week, and we know that our team will need time to focus, to ask questions, and absorb the news. Today and over the next several weeks, we will host team meetings and town halls, team breakout sessions, private and individual sessions to ensure we are keeping our communication open and transparent. Bungie will continue to make great games. Press X to doubt. Press X to doubt on that one. We still have over 850 team members building Destiny and Marathon. I don't think anyone has any faith in Marathon. And we'll continue to build an amazing experience that exceeds our players' expectations. There will be a time to talk about our goals and projects, but today is not the day. Today we focus on supporting our people. All right, now, that's bad. I know that's bad, but there is some other shit that I really want to show before we break this down. So first of all, there's this website where people can it's like a digital spreadsheet type place where you can see the cars you've bought. It's for rich people. So people went and had a look at Pete and what he's been spending his money on. Turns out the motherfucker has bought 25 cars and he has a thing for old cars. Oh. He's buying a 1961 Chevrolet. Look at that. He's getting an old school Roadster. He's got a 1960 Mini Deluxe.
You got yourself a sweet ride now, Charlie.
Fucking old school Porsches. I think you guys get the idea. He's got a
Ford Ranger. Let's go. Now that's a classic car.
I think you get
real
the point
pussy with that.
He has a thing for old cars. All right. And as we know, old cars can be expensive. Oh, just a 1916 fucking Mustang.
There she is. Yep. There's Eleanor.
Yeah, sure. Why not? $200,000 right there.
1950 Dodge Power. What the
1965 Porsche. Fucking hell, man. That's a nice car, dude. 1965 Chevrolet Coupe. Why not? Why not? A 1967 Jaguar.
You have a jet.
This motherfucker out there driving around like James Bond and then just goes, lol, get fired, motherfuckers. And again, I understand and I agree. Everyone agrees that Bungie has a lot of useless people there. They do. But it's really hard to justify firing that many people when you're going out and spending a lot of your own millions of dollars that you pocket while firing these people and going out and buying old school fucking cars. Everyone wants a fucking 1967 Jaguar. 1967 fucking Chevrolet Corvette. Yep, right there, okay? And 1980s Porsche. Old school BMWs. And look at that. He's been doing some past bids as well. This motherfucker out here spending money like it's no tomorrow, man. He's got a thing for old cars. I think everyone does. However, someone broke it down. He spent $2.4 million on cars, trucks, and bikes since 2022.
Say, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's corporate greed in a nutshell. But in regards to the whole structure and integrating more with Sony, we do have an update on that. And it comes from Jeff Grubb that says Herman Holst runs Bungie now. Also, they attempted to soften the blow by sending many people from Bungie into Sony Interactive Entertainment instead of cutting them. I thought the number of jobs lost was going to be closer to 350. I'll put it as far as I know, which isn't everything. In time, Bungie will lose its autonomy and become just like any other PlayStation worldwide studio. Who's Herman? Well, he's the CEO. So basically what happened was this dude that wrote this, Pete, made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. It caught up with him. He fired a whole bunch of people who, again, a lot of them were fucking useless. They were. Fired a whole bunch of them, pocketed millions of dollars for himself, and went and bought fucking old school cars just so Bungie could become more integrated with Sony. That's what happened.
They're nice cars, yeah. On both ends of this, if between 200 to 400 people accounts for 17% of your workforce, there probably is some bloat there. I mean, I think it's not quite on the scale of like Twitter X, where like thousands of people were let off. Like, I think you need more people at a company, at a game dev company, than you do at Twitter. But I do think, like, a bit of a reduction in staff at Bungie was warranted. But it's definitely not a good look. Like, if you're a CEO and you have an acceptable salary, you should be able to spend that on whatever you want. And if that includes a classic car or two, if you can afford it, sure. But then he's probably giving himself an enormous cut, or salary, to be able to be basically Jay Leno, like having this huge garage full of cars. I think that's basically what he's trying to do. It's not a good look. He's obviously taking way too much for himself.
I think as the CEO, you have to set the tone for the company.
Yeah.
And the tone he set has been a really shit one.